You feel it everywhere in your body. Like, there's been many times where you think like, oh my goodness, am I going to pass out here?
Is this as hard as it looks? Because every time I see it on TV, I'm like, wow, that looks hard.
No, it's definitely way harder than it looks. Something that we, aim to do is to have that performance, the making it look easy. Oh, we're just lightly treading water and going upside down, doing things with our arms. It looks very like anyone could do it. But in real life, there's so much going on underwater. Like with each part of our body, we're upside down. We hold ourselves through sculling, so with our hands, with our hand movements. So we have things going on with our arms while we're upside down, doing things with our legs. We're counting, we're looking around, adjusting to each other, listening to the music. And it is a sport, so it is quite difficult.
At the end of a routine, are you just dying?
Yeah, if I'm going to be honest, throughout the whole routine, and then the second you finish, you're gasping for air, you're trying to keep your calm sort of thing while you swim off, like, but you feel it everywhere in your body. Like, there's been many times where you think like, oh my goodness, am I going to pass out here? No, like you're not, but it's kind of that, it's always in your brain.
So, like, how long is your average routine?
I would say like around 3 minutes.
So then, when into that would you be like out of breath?
Yeah, it depends, but sometimes it's like 30 seconds in.
How long can you hold your breath?
Some of us can hold our breath for 4 minutes. Myself personally, I don't think I could go over a minute and a half or 2 minutes. But it's what happens is when we're swimming, we'll be underwater for maybe 15 to 35 seconds at a time, moving, sculling, like a lot's happening underwater. Then we come up and we're only breathing for sometimes 4 seconds. Maybe you get 8 seconds. Sometimes it's only a second, like a breath, and then you go back under for maybe another 10 to 20 seconds. Like that's your whole 4 minute routine is okay, I'm underwater. It's not that long. Like it's only 20, 30 seconds, maybe less. Some people, everyone can hold their breath for 20 seconds, I'm sure. But then when you're moving and you come up and you only get like 2 or 3 seconds to recover and you go back under for another 20 seconds, that's where it gets like really difficult because after a minute of that, yeah, your body is pretty fatigued. So
How do you throw somebody in the air out of water? Like, I don't, that blows my mind. And it's not just a little bit, like, people are doing flips. How do you do that?
first of all, a lot of people think we're pushing off the bottom of the pool. So just want to clear that up. We are not touching the water, the bottom ever. We're in a pretty deep pool. So there's different formations. Like sometimes we do something where there's like a base person and then someone's on top standing on your shoulders. And then we have all the girls kind of like holding the base's feet and like pushing their bum. And we all push at one time. And we can do a stand, or the person on the shoulders will stand up and like maybe put her leg in the air, or we turn, we'll do a 360. That's more like the stable highlights. But if we're doing the throws, it's kind of like in cheerleading. We call it the bunk in or the basket, but like in cheerleading, you can see like two girls just like grabbing hands like this, and you have feet underneath you, and the person's on top, and you're all just like connected, rising together, like with the momentum, and then really like strongly you throw, and the girl has to jump and like feel the momentum from underwater and just does what she does in the air. So yeah, it's a huge team effort. It's very intricate and like it takes really good timing. If people aren't pushing full force at the same time, like it's not going to work to the best of your ability. It looks like the fun, like exciting thing, but it's something that's really hard to do and like it takes a lot of focus and practice.
So, from like start to finish, day one routine is introduced. How long does it take before you got like, okay, we got this?
A long time. Like it's I don't even know. Okay, well, before we used to really train our routines for years, like, or not, maybe not years, but like months before you'd compete. Now, with the new rules, like everybody's making their routine more difficult. You have a competition, you redo everything, you change things, you're trying to make it more difficult because every country is going up and you want to keep up with everyone. I know we kind of already touched on this, but it's like out of the water, your expression, your angles of your arm, your precision of your hands. Like, are my hands open? Are they closed? Is my wrist flexed or is it straight? Same with your legs. Like, what exact angle? What are my toes doing? Sometimes they're pointed, they're flexed. Sometimes they're like, you go point flex, like you're switching it every half a second. Then you're moving in between people in the teams. Like, I'm in line with someone, I'm not. We move, we come back. But at the same time, the whole team's moving down the pool, like, and then you have your sculling, and it is hard to scull sometimes when you have someone so close to you, because we have to have our patterns small. Like, you get more points also if you're close. If you're taking up a lot of space, it doesn't look as powerful. And
So I would imagine, like, would you say you've done your routine by the time you perform it in front of judges, like hundreds of times?
there's the whole routine you've probably done, yeah, over like right now we're at like 250 times, let's say, not of one routine but of our three routines. So like, yes, it's been hundreds of times, but you also have all the little, um like when you warm up, you don't just get in and do your whole routine and that's it. Like, you get in, you warm up sections of your routine, you work on things, then you do your whole routine. So you've also done all these reps on the side.
How did people get into it? How did you get into it?
Well, I grew up with a backyard pool, so I always loved swimming and we did it as a family all the time. And then in grade 4 or 5, I got like a see it, try it pamphlet brought to my school. So we just went to give it a shot, and I started in the rec program. And I just really remember like loving being in the water. I like that it's super artistic, like it's like a dance kind of performing. It's fun, but also it's so technical, and I liked like learning all the positions and setting goals for myself individually, but also coming together as a team and just being with your teammates. And I just had a lot of fun from the beginning. I just remember liking the sport and wanting to see how far I could go in it.
Do most people who do it, do they come from other sports, or no, you start in or in artistic swimming and you stay in artistic swimming?
It's more of a, you start when you're young and you have to, well, you don't have to, but you continue. For someone to start at, I don't know, say older, 15 or in your 20s, it's really hard because it's so much body awareness and just getting used to being in the water, holding yourself in the water, and then what am I doing with my hands so I can spin, so I can be high. Like, you want your legs to be high to the water, and it's just a sport, like any sport, but it just takes a lot of years and a lot of time. So
So how popular is it?
it's hard because, like, I know that it's not super popular. A lot of people have questions about it and haven't really heard about it, but also at the Olympics, I would say it's a pretty well watched event. Like, I think the tickets are normally pretty sold out, which may surprise people, but just in general, I don't think it's, I think it could be more popular for sure.